Hi everyone, today I've got the wonderful Indra Don Francesco with me. Indra, please could you introduce yourself and share how you were drawn to Avalon?
Oh, hello lovely people. Yes, I was drawn to Avalon. My mother was drawn to Avalon actually. My family moved here when I was, I think 13. So I went to school here. And had a wonderful, very normal, very West Country upbringing. And then I came back here when I was maybe 19, 20. I had my daughters here. And then I've come back again. I've been here this time maybe 5 years. Glastonbury has always been my, I suppose, ancestral home. It's where I felt most at home, most held, most understood. And most functional. Yeah, it helps me shine. It's fantastic. It's a magical place in so many senses of the word.
How do you experience and express your spiritual path day to day in Avalon?
Avalon, so the first time round when I came here, when I was young, we were a traveller family. We travelled around a lot. So this was a place that actually I felt the most roots and the most to offer and the most community. This is still my community, it always has been, even though we've been transient. And I think Avalon gives transient people a home. It gives transient people roots. When I was younger, it helped me have a voice. I'm a campaigner. My first campaign was here in Glastonbury. I think I was about 18. I started up a green bandwagon recycling company. We had a couple of vehicles and we'd go around, and first off we collected trees outside people's houses. We door to door, because it seemed monstrous that, you know, once a year we'd cut up a tree, stick it in our homes, bring it in, wait for it to die and then kick it out into the street again after dressing it up. It was just weird. So we collected them and we shredded them, and they were to be used to support new sapling trees. So anyway, but to do that anywhere else I think would have been ridiculous. I mean, this is in the days when recycling wasn't a word. I just needed to do something, and Glastonbury gave me a voice and listened to me, and it was like everybody was suddenly my aunts and my uncles and my brothers and my sisters, and they understood me. Yeah, it was like family, and they understood me, and they held me. And you know, I wasn't bonkers. I was always known for a bit of a, you know, the green one, the greenie. And so from a very young age, I felt a part of the community. Each time I've come back, I've sort of done different campaigns here, because actually I feel totally it is my duty to protect this land. I will do it for the entire planet, but here is so important, and because I've known it so long, I kind of know how it works, you know, whether it was the Chamber of Commerce or the council. One of the things we did when I first came back, we started green groups, just local campaigns. A couple of things we did, so we worked with the council, and within a couple of years there was one Green councillor, and the rest, it's been Tory for as long as I've known, Conservative for as long as I've known. And after a couple of years of campaigning and doing direct action and doing stuff with Greens, we now have a total majority Green council. I think we have one Tory councillor, you know, so it's like things can be done here. Another thing is a woman who has bees at the bottom of the tour. She mentioned that her bees were dying, and found out that glyphosates were being sprayed up on the tour to deal with the nettles and the thistles, who are beautiful beings in themselves, but in the wrong place apparently. So we suggested, right, stop with your glyphosates. We got some funding and we got some volunteers. So right, we'll pull them up by hand. We'll put them up by their roots, so it'll be less and less, and they'll come back less and less each time. And at the end of the day, they English Heritage said, yeah, okay, no, that's worked. We'll look at doing that with our other monuments as well. The thought that, you know, we can have this place of Glastonbury, this our spiritual place of heart and love, you know, which should be cherished by the entire world for what it does and what it has been. You know, has one of its most sacred of spaces chemicals that are killing bees, you know, and everything else. It was just like, no, we need to get practical here. So yeah, we did that. So yeah, every Tuesday, I think it was, there we were. I work with Gaia. Gaia supports me. It wasn't, you know, it wasn't too long after being here realizing actually when people speak of Goddess, when people speak of Gaia, when people speak of the planet, it's the same thing, you know. And the planet is a breathing, cyclical, animated creature, being, in all senses of the words. And yeah, our devotion to her should be paramount, because funnily enough, it supports us. And not that humans should be the top of the, you know, the chain, but absolutely every little being, every creature, every tree is connected. And it is, you know, while I breathe, it is my duty to either talk about it or physically put myself in the way of a chainsaw or a planning application, you know, whichever comes first. It's a kind of pain-pleasure thing. When you're doing the wrong thing, it hurts. And when you do the right thing, it's like, oh, that feels good. So yeah. Yeah, that's keeping an eye on her.
What does Goddess or Divine Feminine mean to you? How do you see her?
I'll start with Divine Feminine. So, oh my gosh, so it's like an uncoiled spring, all right? Let's say 2,000 years of oppression and patriarchy, because that's for me is the blueprint of how we've got in this mess. Okay, it was the division, the taking away from the voice, the knowing, the heart, the woman. And somewhere along the line they realized, hey, we can, you know, rape the earth and sell it back to people, and it's a thing. So Divine Feminine is should be in all of us. I mean, so many religions have really messed with us. They may have started great, you know. There were voices of people who were beautiful. And we've taken their words and we have twisted them and used it to hurt and to shackle and to take away from what is right. So right now we are a coiled spring, you know, and whether it's Black Lives Matter or Me Too, you know, there's an awful lot of things bubbling to the surface, and it's not out of hate, and this is why it's working. You know, they speak of power. When I remember seeing some amazing placard on a Black Lives Matter in London, a march which was so beautifully held and so like calm and presence and power and flow, that was all there. And there was this banner saying, it was like when we think of black people, we always talk about slaves, but we were queens and kings, you know, and it just freaking blew me away. And it was like, oh my gosh, you know, I've been sucked into this, like, oh, you know, and it's like, no, they how they treated each other and the women was sovereign. And so when you think of Divine Feminine, it's all we can be. So it's all we should be and all we can be and all we will be, and how we will speak out and how we will redress the balance. And there is Divine Feminine in men and women, and we just need to get that back, using our voices. Throughout time there have been, in many religions, if you like, whether it was the Greek pantheon, the Celtic. There have been the most incredible deities, the most beautiful pantheon, if you like, with women and priestesses and goddesses, and they are there basically they were like our guidebook, how to be a human in all our forms. The huntress, or Rhiannon, the lover, they were there as our archetypes to show us, how you feeling today? Yeah, I'm a little bit Carly. So it's all inside of us. I think the more we need them now, possibly more than ever. And all those pantheons, they're there for us. And with the women and us becoming stronger and getting our voices and becoming ourselves and being okay with things like our shadow, our rage, things that it's outside the box, it's outside patriarchy. The beautiful pantheons of goddesses that are there to help us, and they're in here, and they've always been in here. And maybe where we didn't have a strong mother or sister or aunt or leadership people, they're there for everyone, all the time.
How do you feel that living in Avalon has empowered you in your sovereignty?
It's funny, the word sovereignty is so, I wouldn't say misunderstood, but there's so many facets to it, and I don't think there's even an agreed what it is. What it should mean is our absolutely individual place and knowing and strength and where we're coming from. So it's us facing the world. I say us, me. I'll say me facing the world, and bringing myself into the world. Unfortunately, what it has also meant is sovereignty, as in queens and kings, which is like the ultimate rule, the ultimate overseer. So it's been used in a way, in a political way, I suppose. It made them supreme rulers. Even the word has been taken away from us. It should just mean we supremely rule ourselves. I am in charge of myself and everything that happens to me, and then also I have to take responsibility for then everything I say. So it's quite big. Unfortunately, it's been twisted into queens that they over pamper and sit on and give gold to, and turn into, like I was puppets and pampered things. Queens in them olden days, they would have to work for it. They would be the ones out in all hours feeding the sick. They would have to work for what they got. Nobody was, African queens, they worked really hard, if not harder than anyone else.
Like the queen bee.
Oh yeah, like the queen bee, thank you. Yeah. So to actually take on true sovereignty is a lot of responsibility, because you have a body and a mind and a mouth, that you have to be very aware of how you're using it suddenly. That you can't get away with being churlish or, supercilious, or there's a lot of self-checking that goes on, and you give each other permission. It's a little bit like, so I come from the anarchist world. I kind of went off and with activism and learned, and anarchy is very similar. Anarchy is sovereignty, actually, because anarchy is about taking utter and full responsibility for yourself in this planet and everything that comes with it. Anarchy is another word that's been twisted. It's self-checking and also giving others the permission, and so we kind of bring each other up. Yeah, you kind of have to step into your groove, go with your flow, because that we are going to be checking each other out. It's almost like a secret university, because I think you grew up sometimes with a policeman in your head. I now grew up with a goddess in my head, checking that I'm looking after myself and speaking my truth. It's exhausting. So no, it's been, this is unprecedented times that we live in, and I feel the goddess, the planet, is asking us all, is requesting us all to stand in our power, to stand in our sovereignty and realize the gift that she has given us, you know, the gift of life, the gift that this planet has been here a lot longer than humans, and what has grown here, trees that were here long before us and who watch over us and have helped us grow since we were crawled out of our little puddles, from our cradles to our walking sticks at the end of the day. And I think that's where we need to, so with our sovereignty, realizing what actually we've got and who we are and the power we really have. It's the power, and using it. Then we are doing her work.
That was so beautiful, Indra. Thank you. Thank you for your time, and on behalf of everyone who's going to watch this, thank you for sharing.
Thank you so much.
And we'll see you at the conference.
Yeah, too right. Thank you.